Hi, it's Heidi Sawyer. I had an amazing opportunity to spend some evening sessions with a group of extremely motivated, intuitive, sensitive people. These are people who are driven to understand the deeper meaning and purpose of their life. During these sessions, I took them along a 7-step proven path that I have walked myself and helped many others do the same. That I've done with incredible results. I'm sorry you couldn't be there, but I hope this is the next best thing. These are excerpts from the live events. Here they are, enjoy, and I hope more importantly that you do something with them for your life moving forward. Thank you for listening. What we're going to be doing this evening is looking at the difference between the personality and looking at the soul, how those two operate separately and how they operate together. Some of the things, especially if you don't know me, some of the things you'll think, whoa, I'm not sure I quite get that. And other things you'll get really very clearly. The whole point to everything that I do is it's about saying to you things that are meant to be heard now and that are relevant to you right now. You'll hear very clearly in what I say. The things that aren't relevant to you, that don't resonate with you, you may find just kind of float on by. So the importance of these sessions, it's about allowing what resonates with you to work with you and letting go of everything else. The structure of how we do this is I will go through a presentation first, which is tonight's subject, which is the soul and the personality. Then, I will start the session in a moment with a meditation process. Part of the way of really getting to know yourself as an intuitive sensitive, because in actual fact, what is wanted now is exactly who you are, okay? Because we are bombarded with lots of different things and lots of different pieces of information and all of that. Everybody is bombarded with that. But for us particularly, it puts our system in a place of overwhelm. It's too much. So how you tend to filter things is how everyone else would like to be able to filter things, but they don't have that sensitivity, they don't have that capability. Does that make sense? So what these sessions are about is tidying up some of that overwhelm in your internal system so that when you go home, you feel cleaner, you feel cleansed of something that perhaps you've been carrying, for some people carrying for a long time, or there's a feeling that you're carrying something for somebody else. Because one of the big things for an intuitive sensitive is you find yourself very much carrying things for other people. You carry their emotions, you experience their emotions, you feel sorry for them, and you take those emotions on as though it's somehow your responsibility to deal with it. Okay, does that make sense? So, as I say, these sessions are about you releasing that build-up, but also deepening your own internal connection so that you learn how to observe things rather than absorb it. So you become more naturally confident within your intuitive process and learning how to steer away from things that you don't really need to or want to be dealing with. Now, your particular skill in terms of your characteristics, your empathy, your ability to relate to other people is becoming something that is very strongly desired within society. Okay? In the next 5 to 10 years, you will start to see people organisations, and they are beginning to actively look for your particular characteristics, trying to develop them in people. The fact is, your deep skills are not learnt. They're biological. Okay, does that make sense? So your sensitivity, which has perhaps in the past been a minus because you're too sensitive, take things too personally. It's only a joke. Your sensitivity that has perhaps been mocked in the past, or that a lot of intuitive sensitives have come from a foundation of criticism. They've experienced quite a lot of early foundational criticism. That you're now coming to a stage, and again, for you to be interested, or certainly, as I say, giving up your Thursday evening, your level of self-awareness is much stronger than it used to be. You deal with things in a better way than you used to. If you think about how you were, or the place you were in 5 years ago, that's where everybody else is now. Okay, you work to around about 5 years ahead. So if you think, fast forward 5 years, 10 years, your particular skills of who you are won't be something that you will be withdrawing from. It will be something that will be pushed right up there and out there. And the reason is because of your sensitive nature, and it's thought that around about 20% of any herding animal species has an added skill in being able to perceive things before others. And the reason is it's a survival instinct. And the reason it's a survival instinct is because that 20% go and look to what is safe before the 80% enter it. Okay, does that make sense? You are the sensitive part of that 20%. So you are a sensitive in your intuitive instincts. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. So in herding animals, that is respected. Because those animals go out and find the best grass. They know when a storm's coming. They're up the top of those hills. They can feel when a predator is approaching. So they're not around when everybody else has to dash. And the rest of the herd soon learn to notice when this part of the herd start to move on and move off. Okay, the sensible ones. Because they don't want to be left at the back when the lion comes. Does that make sense? What's happened for you and for a lot of you, it's about, excuse me, that you've been saying for a long time. You've been saying, well, we need to go in this direction. We need to move, we need to move, we need to move. And you may be doing that at home. You maybe have been doing that at work and saying, well, this needs to change, otherwise we're going to have this issue later. This needs to change, or we're going to have this issue later. And no one's listening, or no one has been listening. And then, when that occurs, you go, well, I did tell you. But no one was listening. What's happened is, over the years, you've become disillusioned with actually speaking when you notice these things. So you've learnt how to keep quiet and just let it go, oh, well, okay, I'm out of here. I'm off. But it's left a mark, and it's left a scarring which says, to a certain degree, it's the never good enough thing, which is, however much I try, it's not enough. So you've learnt to create a sort of gap in your internal world, which feels disappointed, which feels disillusioned, and which feels alone. And at least at some point or another, and it may have been fairly recent for you, you've had that kind of feeling that you want to go home, but you don't know what home means. But you sure as hell know it's not in the surroundings or in the environment that you felt yourself in, because it's felt isolating. Does that make sense? Sorry? Because it's felt isolating. Yeah? So what these sessions are about, really, is for you to realize that you're not alone, that it doesn't have to be isolating, and that your process is to heal that gap, to get back to the confidence of who you really are, which is the one who leads the herd. Because it's instinctual for you. You find it very, very, very difficult to walk away from something that feels unjust. Very difficult. To the extent that you will fight to the death to rebalance something that is unjust. Okay? What these sessions are about is really about you rebuilding your confidence in yourself and realizing that you're not wrong, that you have every right to feel that you want to move something forward, and that you have every right to go with your own instinct rather than what you're being told. Okay? Does that make sense? Because the frustration of going ahead with what you've been told and then it not working out in the way that you need it to work out is very uncomfortable, desperately uncomfortable to an intuitive sensitive. And it takes a long time to recover from it. Okay? So, for those who don't know me, as I say, be prepared to be scared, because part of the development process is feeling within your own system things you perhaps have never properly allowed yourself to feel. Okay? Because a lot of the time we think that the way around something is to avoid it, rather than actually see it as the way through, right the way through the middle. For those of you who don't know me, I've been right the way through the middle of a lot of things. Okay, just very briefly, I've been right the way through the middle of lots of health things. I've been right the way through the middle of death. I've been right the way through the middle of everything you can possibly probably think of. So what I tell you is not a theory, it is a practice, because everything that I take you through is something that I have done myself, or I am perfectly prepared to do myself. I don't say, oh, go and do that, and not engage with that. I tell you to go do that, because I have every faith that the other side of that, you'll appreciate that. Okay, does that make sense? So, everything that I do, as far as the processes are concerned, what I take you through, all of those kinds of experience, it's about holding your hand and allowing you to feel that someone's got your back. Because I provide a service on the basis of I give what I would have liked to have received when I was in that position. Okay, does that make sense? So, tonight's session, how we how I formulate things is I'm going to go through this first. I will then take you through a process. I think I might actually take you through a process before we start, actually. Excuse me. A quick one. And then I will do some very brief readings based on the information that we're doing for this evening. And then I'm going to give you an overview of what to expect from next year's energy, because we're coming to the end of a cycle in 2014, and we're entering a new cycle. It's a new vibration, which is distinctly different from the one that we've just been through. And so I will give a brief overview as to what that means to you for next year, okay? Because it's already coming in, and you can maybe, as you're sensitive, you can maybe already kind of feel the difference and feel that change in frequency and vibration. It usually comes in kind of a month or two before the following year. Okay? Right. So, excuse me. I will take you through a process first. Okay? So, for those of you who've never done meditation or any kind of process as far as this is concerned, you just follow what I say. You don't worry about it. You don't worry about getting things right. If you fall asleep, the person next to you will give you a nudge. If you feel that you disappear halfway through, again, that's fine. Sometimes what happens is, if your system is really tired, it kind of takes you out. And then when you're due to come back, and I say, well, open your eyes, you think, oh, hang on, where did I go? You didn't fall asleep because the person next to you didn't have to give you a kick. Okay? So sometimes your psyche does that because it needs to rejuvenate. Okay? Especially if you've been very tired and you haven't given your system a time to, or a chance to recuperate. Okay? Or you haven't had the ability. So, okay, so close your eyes. And focus on your breathing. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Allowing your thoughts to roll around your head and disappear on the out breath. Allowing the body to relax and the mind to remain alert. Take your attention to the base chakra, base of the spine, breathing in through the base, up an internal tube, and out through the crown. In through the base, up an internal tube, and out through the crown. On the next in-breath, take your attention to the lower body. Feel the muscles in your legs relax. Letting go of any tension on the out breath. Focusing on the pelvis. Feel the pelvis relax. Feel the lower back relax. And feel the tension of the chest release. Feel any tension releasing on the out breath. Let the neck relax. And on the next in-breath, allow yourself to imagine a ball of lilac light in front of your forehead. If you can't see, then sense. And breathing in through the base, up and out, into the lilac ball. Feel yourself push all the tension in the body into the lilac ball. Anything that's upset you, any hurt, frustration, anger, feel your awareness push it up and out of the body into the lilac ball. And feel the pressure build in that lilac ball. Feel it fill like an oversized balloon. Feel the pressure in it until the pressure is too much and the ball bursts. As it bursts, feel all the tension in your system drain from the body. And feel your awareness pushing out through the back of your head, a feeling of pushing out where a ponytail would sit. And in this space, feel your awareness on the edge of something. Feel it on a ledge. If you can't see, then sense. And feel your awareness let go, free falling into the nothingness. And allow yourself the experience of the nothingness. Feel your awareness regrouping in the body. Feel it as though the crown, top of your head, was a large white flower. And feel your awareness drop down through the center of the flower, down the stem, and feel your awareness spreading from the base energy through the body. In your mind, throwing roots out from the bottom of your feet, planting them deep into the earth. Feel your awareness come back into the physical body and focusing on your breathing. Very gently bring your awareness back into the room, and when you're ready, open your eyes. Okay, I'll just give you a moment. Like that. Where have I been? Feels nice and clean. If you notice, before we start, if you notice what the energy was before we started, and you notice what it is now, you now begin to notice how you pick up on other people's energy all the time. It's that that you can feel, and perhaps you don't always notice it until the stillness is there. Okay? Right, so what we're looking at tonight, and although these, this is presented as different steps, okay? Don't get worried that because you haven't been here for step 1 and step 2, that it means that you're out of sequence, you're out of some kind of order, and it's all messed up. Not at all, okay? These are put into steps for the simple reason that it's then easy for the personality to then put it into sequence, okay? It's to pacify the personality rather than for any other particular reason, okay? For more great free content designed to support your purchase of my book, Highly Intuitive People, 7 Right Brain Traits to Change the Lives of Intuitive Sensitive People, please visit finallyfeelunderstood.com. There you can subscribe and download for free the meditations specific to today's episode. If you have already read the book, then it's time for you to receive exclusive access and support from me and your fellow intuitive sensitives as we go deeper together along this proven 7-step path by joining us in my monthly membership program called Heidi's Circle. There you can ask me anything in a safe and private environment, and I will answer you live. Join us today by visiting healmyinnerworld.com.